If you are looking for something new and different for the upcoming Compliance Week celebration in November, check out The Compliance Kids. It's my 3-book children's series on compliance and compliance professionals for children. But they make great gifts and great training tools for your employees. You can check it out on Amazon.com. We've linked to it in the show notes. The Compliance Tip of the Day. This is the podcast where we bring you daily insights and practical advice on navigating the ever-evolving landscape of compliance requirements. Whether you're a seasoned compliance professional or just starting your journey, my aim in this podcast is to provide you with a bite-sized, actionable tip to help you stay on top of your compliance game. Join us as we explore the latest trends from the Department of Justice, share some best practices, demystify complex compliance issues to help keep your organization doing business ethically and in compliance, and at the end of the day, more profitably. Tune in daily for your dose of compliance wisdom. Let's make compliance a little less daunting, one tip at a time. Now a word from the sponsor of the Compliance Podcast Network, Ethico.
If you're a compliance officer, middle managers are crucial in getting your programs from you to your frontline employees. But how do we activate those managers and get them on our side? Ethico's new Middle Manager Toolkit equips you with the skills needed to empower your managers, to promote a culture where ethical behavior thrives and employees feel empowered to speak up. Learn how to turn frontline managers into ethical leaders with our new white paper, Empowering Middle Managers as Ethics Champions. And did I mention you can get the whole toolkit for free? Head to ethico.com to download the full toolkit today.
We continue our review of the John Deere FCPA enforcement action by moving from the pre-acquisition side to the post-acquisition side to consider post-acquisition integration. Once again, one of the most glaring issues in this case was John Deere's failure to swiftly integrate Wirtgen's operations into its own compliance program. This lapse is literally a textbook example of the risks that can arise when a company fails to prioritize compliance during and after mergers and acquisitions. The SEC settlement order emphasized this point, making it clear that John Deere's delay in extending its compliance framework to Wirtgen created an environment where bribery and corruption could and did occur and thrive even unchecked. For compliance professionals, this raises a critical question. How quickly can we realistically integrate an acquired company into our compliance program? What resources are needed to ensure this integration happens efficiently and effectively? The answers to these questions are not just theoretical, but they have real-world implications for the preventing violations and avoiding costly enforcement actions. Further, with the Department of Justice's safe harbor for mergers and acquisitions, you now have a 1-year or 12-month cap or time limit to get the newly acquired entity integrated into your compliance program. So the clock is ticking immediately upon closing. The need for speed is going to be paramount. You'll need to hit the ground running, and you'll need to keep running to get the acquired entity incorporated into your compliance program going forward. Of course, you're going to have to be doing this while doing a forensic investigation to determine if there are any violations you haven't found out about. But the integration of the acquired entity into your organization is paramount. As I said in the opening of this podcast, this month's sponsor of the entire Compliance Podcast Network is Ethico, and they've developed a toolkit for middle managers that will help middle managers in intaking information from employees and, equally importantly, understanding how to respond and how to get the information up to compliance for the decision makers. We've linked to this toolkit in our show notes, so check it out at ethico.com. This is Tom Fox again. This new podcast, Compliance Tip of the Day, will appear daily, and frankly, it's one of the most requested topics for a podcast that I get on a regular basis. It's going to be short and sweet with one tip with some takeaways that you can utilize to implement into your compliance program. If you've got a question that you would like a tip on, please submit them through our website, and we will use them in an upcoming episode. The compliance tip of the day is a production of the award-winning Compliance Podcast Network.